Good morning, friends. Today I'm going to be making a purse I simply call Smiley because it reminds me of a smiley face. It's a simple little purse, but it's really just very cute. So first thing we have to do, you can see that I've run the placement stitches I have been doing lately, getting that out of the way. And here's the area I'm going to put the zipper. So let me turn this around, and I've got my zipper here, and an important thing to do is to open it and make sure it even works, because I have put zippers in before and get to the last step and they don't work. So that one appears to work. Well, hold on one moment. Okay, this one appears to work fine, and what I'm going to do is take it and put it right, center it where the plastic part of the zipper, the coils of the zipper are right centered in this narrow runway here, and it takes a little bit of being careful, but it can be done. And so let me take a minute and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, you can see I have taped it down at the top, here in the center, and here at the bottom, and I'm going to take this to the embroidery machine, and step 2 will tack down this zipper. So I'll be back in a minute. Alright, I'm back, and you can see that it has been tacked down. And so the next thing we'll do is we'll turn the hoop over, and we'll apply our first piece of the lining. And I'm using this pretty blue fabric as the lining, so turn it face side down, right side down, and you want to line it up. It needs to be about a 1/4 inch past this bottom stitching line here. So let's do that. I think that's probably okay, and it's okay on both sides. Yes. And let's tape it down. And after I stitch this down, I will certainly turn this back over to look at it to make sure I haven't made a mistake, because I've been known to make many mistakes. Okay, we're going to just grab the side of the hoop and let it fall over to the front. And now we're on the front of the hoop, and let me grab a tape while I still can, piece of tape, and take this piece and just fold it over. Just fold it over several times and tape it to the plastic hoop right up here like this, because it needs to stay out of the way for the next 4 or 5 color stops. So that's done. Now let's take our front main fabric, and this is a really pretty piece of fabric, and you can see it is called Misty Meadow by, I can't read it, but it's for Clothworks fabric. So we're going to take, and we're going to put this face down. I tell you, I better do it this way, I suppose, rather than risk this showing somehow at the top by the zipper. And it doesn't matter in this case, because it's not a directional fabric. It doesn't matter which way you place it. So let's do the same, only now that we're on the front of the hoop and we can see the zipper, we're going to just place it right about on the edge of the zipper. And let's tape it down. right, so I'm going to take it to the sewing machine, and it's going to stitch a line of stitches right here, and that'll secure the front piece and the back piece of lining, and I'll be back momentarily. Okay, I'm back, and first thing let me do is turn it over and make sure that, let me see, yes, close, but it is tacked down, so it's fine. And then here on the front, I was overly generous. I could have pulled the fabric up much farther, but let me actually just pull it down to make sure that I'm fine. It covers well. I should have cut off the selvage anyhow before I started, but I didn't. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is take one of our pieces of what I'm using as batting, which is a piece of flannel type fabric, and place it about 1/4 of an inch underneath the stitch line here, and take and fold down our main fabric and get it nice and smoothed out. And on the way back over here from the sewing machine, I started up the iron, so it should be hot, and I'm going to take it and just give it a little pressing where we have a nice crisp crease right here at the zipper, so hold on. All right, I'm back, and I did press this, and it lays very nicely here. So the next step will be to take it to the embroidery machine, and stitching will occur right below the zipper all the way around, and that'll just hold the fabric secure, hold it down, and the batting underneath. So for the next steps, we're going to start our applique process. So let me do that, and I'll be back as soon as I've run the next step. All right, that step has been accomplished. You can see the stitching here along the bottom, and it goes all the way around, and now everything's held securely. The next thing I'll do is put the hoop back in the embroidery machine, and it's going to do the placement stitch showing where I should place the applique fabric. So let me do that, and I'll be back in a moment. All right, I'm back, and you can probably see this. It's just kind of I call it a smiley mouth going across there. And so I'll take my applique piece, which is a piece of pink fabric, and place, I just cut it the same as I cut every other piece here, 7 by 11. I'll cut it and place it over this entire area, and then I will run the next step, which will tack it down along the same line here. Then I will have to do trimming, but I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I have run the next step here, showing me where to cut, and I will be removing everything up here on this side of the stitching. And because I find it seems every piece of cotton I buy, even though it's supposedly good quality, it's pretty thin. So you can see I have 2 pieces of cotton. So I like to double that up because I don't want to look through here and be able to see this fabric underneath, as beautiful as it is, which with 1 piece of cotton I would have been able to see through it. So that's why I double it. And so I'm going to take and trim this up here, and I'll be back in a moment. All right, you see I have trimmed it, and like I say, it looks kind of melon colored, but it really is a pretty pink. So anyhow, we'll take the hoop to the embroidery machine, and it will do a satin stitch right along through here, and that'll take a few minutes, so I'll be back momentarily. Okay, I'm back from the embroidery machine, and it has done the satin stitching, And I trimmed it down to the quick, you might say, but I thought, but I've still got a few little pieces sticking up of the frayed pink fabric. I'll have to take my little snippies with the fine, very fine end and get rid of those if I can, because that annoys me. But anyhow, be that as it may. The next thing that will occur is back to the machine, and it's going to put a pretty little, like a necklace of little flower motifs along here. And I think if I were doing this for myself, I would take and use my built-in fonts in my embroidery machine and maybe put my initials down here. I think that would look real nice. But anyhow, I'll leave that to the individual. So let me stop and go and run the next step. Okay, I'm back, and you see the nice little strand of flowers has been embroidered. I think it's really pretty and adds a little interest to the design without being flashy. And so now I'm going to take and next thing is I need to remove this and let this piece of lining fall to the back, and take it and pull it down. Well, I always forget these. Trying to remember to remove these. They're not needed any longer. Oh, about to drop the phone. Okay. Now pull this down, smooth it down, and take it and take your two pieces of one piece and take another piece and tack it down over, or tape it down. And now let's take it back to the machine, and it's going to run this same one of the same, I think it was step number 4, where it goes right below the zipper and all the way around. So, and that will secure the lining piece on the back, and of course secure this too. But I'll be right back. Alright, that stitching around the exterior has taken place, and the next thing we need to do is remove this piece of tape over here. Get rid of it. See if I can one-handedly open this zipper again. Well, it's going to go. It's going to work. Okay. Opened it maybe 2/3 of the way to 3/4 of the way. And I'm forgetting something. I always do this lately. Next, I'm going to stick on the little attachments in case someone wants to put a crossbody purse on. So I've made these out of grosgrain ribbon and attached just a ring. And I cut these 3 inches long, and then I staple them at the top to hold them together so they don't move. They'll be taped down anyhow. But I put them about 1 inch in from the side seams. So about like that. And let's see if I can tape them without them getting too crooked. Okay, and let me place the other one. Wow. Okay. And tape it down. And then tape down the metal piece, because I've been warned for years about the metal piece wiggling itself up here where the stitching will occur soon. And I said, no, that's not going to happen. Well, it did happen. And somehow I was able to, the needle just somehow miraculously didn't hit it. It went right over it and it stitched it into the zipper, and I was able to take the seam ripper and unrip and fix the situation. But it was quite unbelievable the way it happened. It didn't, the needle didn't even hit the thing, but it had it would have broken the needle at least, and who knows what else, might have done some other damage. Anyhow, that's why, long story short, that's why I tape these down also. So we'll take our back fabric, put it face down, make sure it is about 1/4 of an inch over the zipper and our other little batting piece, and do the same with it. And, oh, I think I just about got it right without having to readjust it. So I'm going to take it to the sewing machine or the embroidery machine, and the next step this is a second to the last step we'll be doing. It'll just go right here. Let me pull this back. It'll go between this green line here, which was a tack down line for the zipper. It'll go about halfway between the edge of the zipper and this green line. So let me go and do that. It'll do all 4 sides and close the bag up, and then we'll only have one more step to go to sew. So let me go and take care of that. All right, you can see that that has been accomplished. It has sewn all the way around, and I'm going to take and turn the hoop over, and we'll prepare to do our last step. And we should have one piece of fabric left, which is the back lining. I'm going to place it face down and make sure it basically goes over the other one, and make sure it's covering the zipper, which it is, and take it and tape it down on all 4 corners. Well, stuck on my finger. Okay. And then down here. Okay, so let me take it to the sewing machine, the embroidery machine, and it will go all around, but it will leave an opening here, a nice generous opening at the bottom to turn this bag through. So it'll go around starting about right here, up here, along here, down the side, and stop about right here. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I'll show you the back, the hoop, the last piece of lining, second piece of lining's been put on, and it's left a nice, generous turning hole there, where even I can get my hand in there. So anyhow, I'm going to take the bag out of the purse. I'm going to trim, starting right here, trim 1/4 of an inch away from the seam, quarter inch away from an end, from the stitch line, and end right here. And I'm going to not touch this, not do anything with that, leave it like it is, and I'll show you what this looks like after I do that. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. As you can see, I have trimmed about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little more, roughly 1/4 of an inch all the way around. And when I got down here, I cut it at an angle each side. Now I have my 2 pieces of lining, which I'm going to pull back, and all the rest of this stuff here, you can take your scissors and just cut right above the stitch line and cut it right off right here, because we don't need it. It's not serving any purpose at this point. So go ahead and do that next, and I'll do the same. All right, I have trimmed off all that excess. It is gone. And now what I'm going to do is turn the purse in, well, right side out, I guess you'd say, where you will be seeing the exterior pieces of these the outer side of these lining pieces. So let me put the camera down and do that. Okay, I have come to the ironing board, and what I'm going to do now is, since I've turned it out, you can see the lining pieces on both sides. Now I'm going to fold in this shorter piece. See, there's always one piece that's longer, the longer piece here. I turn in this piece first, the shorter piece, and I'll press it, and then I'll turn this piece in and press it, and then I'll take it to my regular sewing machine, and I'll put a line of stitches starting right here, going all the way across and ending right here. So that's what I'll do next, and I'll see you in a moment. All right, I've accomplished the stitching right along the bottom here, as you can see. And one of the last things to do is to remove this paper towel from the zipper so we can turn the bag through the zipper for the last time, the last turning. So, like I say, I'm not gonna, well, I did tear a little bit apart. Let me see if I can just, usually you get your finger started and it just comes, well, that's where I'm going over the zipper now, so it's a little, well, I don't have any fingernails, but anyhow, you get the idea. So just use your fingernails and remove the piece of paper towel, and you won't have to use scissors or a knife or anything. It should come right away with your fingernails. So do that, and I'll do the same, and I'll be right back. Okay, that is done, and I'm going to reach through and turn this. Let me see, I can feel the tape there. I can grab that piece of tape. Well, there it is on my finger. Reach through and turn the bag out, and I'll show you what it looks like in a moment. Okay, I have turned the bag out through the zipper, and I have taken and used what I'm using as a pressing cloth and pressed the bag. And I'm going to take and add on my little trinket here, and I'll show you that in a moment. Okay, here is the finished bag, and I think it looks very nice. I'm pleased with it. I hope if you make it, you will be too. And that's the end of today's tutorial. And I hope to see you back tomorrow with another bag and another tutorial. And I thank you for watching with me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.